Before we even get started,
Tell them.
if you have watched 2 or more of our videos and you have not subscribed, then we have what, pal?
Beef.
What do we have?
Beef.
Exactly. So you better get doing that right now. Before
Tell
we
'em.
even get started, all right? If you have watched 2 or more of our videos and you have not subscribed,
Tell them.
then we have what, pal?
Beef.
What have we got?
Beef.
Exactly. So you better get doing that right now. Over to you, pal.
I'm making this video today.
So apparently this is y'all wild in the chat. I'm reading super chats as we go through. Apparently this is the king. Everybody has been asking me to watch Garvey's video of whatever it is that he did of Pearl, and so this is what we're doing this morning. We're breaking it down. I have not seen it before. Shout out to all of y'all. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Let's get this shit popping. Let's get it rocking.
That I didn't initially want to make. But there comes a time when we're all at a crossroad and have to make a decision. And sometimes that decision can affect you morally, it can affect you spiritually, and it can affect you financially. But it's a decision that we can't shy away from.
So he starts off the video by saying, this is a video that I didn't want to have to make. I'm going to keep an open mind. But at the very beginning of this video, I'm going to be honest with you, it comes off as disingenuous. Comes off as disingenuous because nobody starts off a video and they say, this is a video that I didn't want to have to make, and then they make the video. This is a video, I'm reading super chats throughout the show. This is a video that I didn't want to have to make, but then I'm going to make the video, okay? I have not seen the video. I do not know what he's going to say. I'm reacting to it from the very beginning. Nobody in the world says this is a video that I didn't want to have to make. And then the cut scene that they have in the very beginning of the video is you with your homegirl saying, what do we have? Beef. What do we have? Beef. Y'all better start cutting y'all grass. Y'all better start cutting y'all grass.
Now recently, Just Pearly Things has been caught up in some controversy. Why? She has interviewed avid racist and known racist Nick Fuentes. He is also an anti-Semite. What did Pearl do when she interviewed him? What she done is that she laughed with him and seems to agree with a lot of his points.
Talk about instances of like when they initially freed the slaves, there were some slaves that felt so indebted to their owners that they would travel across states to pay them back, and they actually had a really good relationship with them.
Now, if she had said some of these things about the Jewish community, she would have been cancelled in a hot minute. Ask Kyrie Irving. Ask Kanye West. Now, this isn't about the Jewish community. This is about us. Okay? And so after that interview, Pearl decided to make an apology video, which was, in my personal point of view, disingenuous and a PR stunt. And all in all, it came from a place of deception.
Guys, people say that stuff about me. They say I'm sexist. They say I'm a misogynist. And, you know, I really just like to give people the benefit of the doubt when I interview them. I don't go into interviews trying to interrogate someone. I just more try to listen and see where they're coming from. In hindsight, that wasn't smart. And in hindsight, I should have had someone, you know, maybe Garvey, maybe another content creator that could have pushed back more and really was more educated on the topics that he was talking about than I was, because I certainly was not an expert in any of the stuff that he was talking about.
So he's saying that he felt like right, that she was disingenuous in her apology, and she shouldn't have brought the man onto the platform in the first place. Pearl, well, let me not say Pearl. Blessing, the producer, said on the Lapeef Network a couple days ago or a few days ago that they're not going to continue or they're not going to shy away from specific subjects or controversial people in order to have conversations that they want to have. And they have not up to this point. It's just that this is the one that upset people the most, right? Nobody tripped when she brought Andrew Tate on the platform. Nobody tripped when she brought Brittany Renner on a platform. Two people who a lot of people feel are incredibly controversial. Nobody tripped at all. But he's saying specifically that he feels like her apology was disingenuous, and this is coming from a person that has worked closely with her. All right. I'm just breaking down what it is that I see, what's being communicated, and then we'll go from there. All right. So I'm breaking it down so that we can have my C student perspective. And then I'm going to go ahead and hear everything that he has to say, and then I'm going to break it down frame by frame. So let's continue. Sometimes us C students have to summarize what we hear so that we can remember it as we going through the video. All right, let's continue.
Now, I've been on social media for a while, and I have done interviews with the likes of Tommy Robinson, Sargon of Akkad, politicians like Lee Jasper, and also Lin May and people from the music industry like So Solid.
I'm guessing all of these people are over in the UK because I don't know any one of these people at all. But I'm guessing that these people are relevant in the United States of America. So he's basically giving you his background to show you, yo, I have done great work. I've interviewed all of these other type of people, right? So this is my background, and this is what makes me worthy of, I guess, giving you the foundation so that I let you know that I'm a credible source and that I've done the work in the background.
Mega Man, to be exact. Now, Pearl was reacting to my content prior to coming to the UK. And so when she came to the UK, I was very interested in the content that she would actually put out. And it just so happened that she was putting out content that I was interested in, similar to what the late, great Kevin Samuels actually put out. And I understand it because I myself had been embroiled in court cases and things of that nature when it comes to the mother of my son, and understand that the gynocentric order in which we live in is something that needs to be spoken about. So when she came to London, she said that she wanted to make a podcast, and I said, no problem. Okay, let's talk about it. And I decided to feature on her show. Now, when I featured on her show, because of my following in the UK, people would tune in. So essentially, I helped Pearl grow her channel. Okay, I was on there week to week, and I was working with her based on a fee.
So if you're getting paid to do it, then you're not actually helping. You're just doing your job. Let's be clear. Let's be clear, y'all. Because I don't let the words fool me. I know it's a lot of A and B students out here. I'm sure Mr. Sarai is much more intelligent than I am, but I'm a C student, right? And when I hear things, I think that words mean things. I don't look at it as you helped anybody. You got paid to do your job. Whatever that is, whatever you agreed to, you got paid a fee according to what you said in order to do your job. And so I don't want to hear anybody telling me or taking credit for anything that I did. If I paid you for a service, if I paid you to be an editor, if I paid you to do a great thing, and then this video wound up getting 1 million views, you don't get credit for what it is that I paid you for. I paid you for a service. You can also use that on your resume in order to continue to go and get a new job. But if I pay you for something, you did not do anything for me. You did what it is that you got compensated for. It was transactional. Relationships are transactional. I don't want anybody sitting there in the same breaths trying to take credit for what it is that I did, but then at the same time saying that I got paid for it. More importantly, I see you got your African chain on, right? And the thing about that is you can't switch up now. And this is the thing that I've been telling y'all from the very beginning, right? You can't switch up now. You seen her as an opportunity in the same way that she leveraged your audience as an opportunity also. You rolled with her and you benefited as a result of it because your channel probably grew much more as a result of being on her show. It's similar to when I did a collaboration and we did an exchange. I jumped on her show. She came and she did an interview when we was in Miami. Our schedules just so happened to line up. No, I didn't get paid for it. No, she didn't get paid for it. What we did was we exchanged based off of what she thought would benefit her platform and what I thought would benefit mine. And then we went our separate ways and we did what it is that we did. You benefited and you wanted to leverage her platform because let's be clear. If you was all of this blackety black and you only wanted to work with black people, then why did you start working with her in the first place? Why didn't you say, because I mean, come on, man, keep the same energy from the beginning all the way to the end. Don't sit here and start talking that shit once it's popular to do so where you can benefit as a result of it. Now you want to start becoming a blackety black and being against white people when you sat there on her platform, show after show after show, and you sat there and you did the whole, and what do we do? Beef. And how do we do it? Beef. And you was a cheerleader and she was your cheerleader and you did everything that you wanted to do. You benefited, you got your views up. I don't care how long your podcast was in existence before she came into it. You benefited from her. She benefited from you. And now you want to use this as an example in order to try to get on a gravy train because you see where it's going. You see the blackety blacks are starting to come out. And so now you want to align with it because it's unpopular to stand next to her. I hate when people switch up on you. Don't stand next to me when it's popular and then stand outside of me when it's unpopular. Whatever it is that you think that I am, you can't switch up and say you didn't know it and then start to make videos about me when it's convenient when everybody else start doing it. Come on, man. These are the people that y'all want to roll with? Now it's unpopular after you got your numbers up and then you want to start switching up on me when you already you one of the closest people to her. You are the one that worked with her from the very beginning all the way up until now. And now you want to switch up on me when it's convenient to do so because everybody else outside of your country in America is deciding to do it. Come on, man. Listen, I'm going to call a spade a spade. I'm going to call a spade a spade. I'm beholden to nobody. Nobody owns my platform. Nobody cuts me a check. Nobody owns my platform. Nobody has 1% of me. I own 100% of everything that I do. Ain't nobody ever can say that they cut me a check except for the sponsors. I have no strings on me. Nobody controls me. So when I see some bullshit, I'm going to call it out for what it is. Now, he may say something throughout this video that then would change my mind, and I'm open to it, but I'm reacting to what it is that I see from the very beginning. He tried to set this up like, yo, I'm responsible for her success. Well, then that means that you're responsible for also being a colonizer then too. Because if you used her platform or you enabled her platform in order to be successful, you can't then turn around and say, but it's her fault. Nigga, it's your fault too then. If you used your power and you've been rolling with her this entire time, all the way up until the Nick Fuentes conversation, don't sit here and tell me that you want to absolve yourself of responsibility and now you want to be on a blackety black team. Come on, man. Come on. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Oh, okay. All right. Maybe, listen. Bella says once you find new information, you have to pivot. Okay, well, let me listen to the rest of the video. I'm open to the possibility that I'm wrong.
So the tragic death of Kevin Samuels happened, and there was a vacuum within the manosphere space. Who was it going to be filled by? It was actually filled by Just Pearly Things along with other content creators. Now, I believe that the reason why this space was filled is because Kevin Samuels had a large following of black men. And these black men were essentially fed up with the way feminism had taken over their community, specifically their women. So when he died, there was a vacuum and a lot of black men looking for content like this. And it was filled by Pearl. And I believe that Pearl rose to fame because she herself was the opposite of what those men had been seeing.
I'm cool with that assessment. He's giving his opinion on what Pearl's rise to fame came as a result is. He's saying that it was a vacuum, it was a vacancy, and so nobody expected for it to happen. And she was the opposite of what it is that guys had been complaining about, and so she filled a void. Cool. I don't have any problem with that.
She was a white woman. She wasn't the types of women that they had been seeing, and essentially she was regurgitating Kevin Samuels' content. So I began working with Pearl, and from the beginning, I started to think that maybe this girl has a colonial mindset.
Now, if you knew and if you felt like she was regurgitating Kevin Samuels' talking points, why did you still decide that you wanted to go and work with her? That's the $1 million question. If you knew and this is what you felt, why did you decide that you still wanted to work with her? Because nobody knowingly goes and works for a person or works with a person that they feel like has a colonial mindset and is a racist. If you stand on this blackety black thing that you stand on, then why would you put all of your energy into somebody that's not even black that you suspect has a colonial mindset? That's all I'm asking. Come on, man. Listen. All I'm asking is, why would you do it if you felt like it wasn't best to do? Because just as important as the information that you're giving me, I also want to understand the mindset and the intentions behind the person in the first place. That's the question that we should be asking ourselves. Because right now, everybody is emotional and nobody wants to ask the uncomfortable question. Have the uncomfortable conversation. Why did he work with her if this is what he felt about her all along? If from the very beginning you identified her and you said, yo, I don't like the fact that she's saying this, and she sounds a little bit like Kevin Samuels, and I'm suspecting that she has a colonial mindset. Well, what the fuck are you still making videos? What did you start making videos with her for in the first place? How come you didn't put all of your UK power and your following or whatever it is that you had from the very beginning behind somebody that you actually felt behind yourself? Why you ain't put it behind yourself? Why did you put it behind her? Why didn't you put it behind yourself? Why didn't you put it behind another black man? Why put it behind a woman at all? Why put it behind a white woman if that's what you felt about her? Because that's not what you felt about her. This mindset that you have, from my opinion, observing what's being communicated right now, came because you've seen an opportunity to come up and you've seen an opportunity to partner, and then B, you truly did not feel like she was racist or had a colonial mindset.
Now, we all know that we don't want to be paranoid, so I kept working with her. However, the more I worked with her is the more that I saw. She had a colonial type viewpoint when it came to black people. And I had to school her a few times on what it was like to be black and the black experience, and also what slavery and colonization was actually like.
Do you think that historical catastrophes must be compensated for?
No.
No.
That's stupid.
So then, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing.
Yeah.
So then, how come there were groups of people that got compensation then?
How come?
For instance, like Jewish people, Chinese people, Japanese people with the bombs. Like there were groups of people who got compensated.
I don't know.
So it wasn't fair.
What? Well, I'm talking about like when I think about group, I think about reparations. So I mean, maybe if the people were still alive today, like I don't know, maybe. But like when you said historical, I thought you meant like at the past, not the present.
Yeah, so like in the past, so like people talk about slavery. So in the past, you know, the Holocaust happened. In the past, you know, the Japanese, but people got compensated for it.
Yeah.
there's a book, right, called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. And when you read that book, you realize that the whole Industrial Revolution and stuff like that was started because of the colonization. And you just think, well, if you didn't do that, then you wouldn't be as successful.
So what do you mean by the colonization?
So the colonization of Africa, so both the people and the resources, right? There's a direct correlation between the colonization of Africa and the Industrial Revolution.
Okay.
And so with all the metals and the rubber and all this kind of stuff coming from Africa, it fueled the Industrial Revolution of the West.
Wait, so you're saying like in Africa, when you say colonize, you're saying like did England come in and colonize?
Yeah, like so European, France, Spain, Portugal, England.
And they like enslaved Africans, and that's what you're saying. Okay.
So they enslaved and at least colonized the continent.
Okay.
So when you colonize a continent and then you take ownership of the resources, you're able to gather those resources together and use them to your own benefit.
Right.
And so you gather those resources, use them to your own benefit and build up your economy, all the while messing up the economy of that actual country. Right.
So that video was filmed in 2022. And in that video, what you saw was me attempting to tell Pearl and show Pearl what colonization was like. How people went to another group of people and took their resources and took what was theirs and built their empire off of it. So when Pearl now plays like she doesn't know what colonization is and she doesn't know what slavery is, and she says these insensitive statements, in that video I actually attempted to give her a book. It was called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. I've read it myself. She semi-dismissed that book. She kind of dismissed that book. And then she went on with herself to go and interview a man like Nick Fuentes. Pearl has Africans that work for her.
So what does that have to do with interviewing Nick Fuentes? Honestly, I'm just genuinely trying to understand. What does that have to do with interviewing Nick Fuentes? Just curious. Yo, somebody, if you got moderators, find out if that's a fake Pearl. And if it's a fake Pearl, go ahead and get it out of there because I don't want nobody making up fake profiles. What does that have to do with actually interviewing somebody that got a completely different mindset than you? Let me get this person. Let me find out, because if it ain't got a check mark next to the name, then it's not her. So get the fake account get the fake account out. Y'all messing up the stream. It's nonsense. Okay, if it's the real one, okay, if it's the real Pearl, then that's cool. Let her watch along with everybody else. But if it's fake, then that's cool. Moderators, y'all know what y'all doing. All right, let's continue.
Now, Nigeria has many issues. Now, the disparity in Nigeria has rich and poor people living just on the breadline. And Pearl has these types of people working for her. They edit her videos. They make her thumbnails.
So, look what I have here. This is evidence to show how hard my Americans work.
Hold on. If she doesn't have a check mark, then that's fine. If she don't have a check mark, then that's fine. So don't get rid of it. Make sure that y'all not timing it out. Did anybody time it out? Let me go and make sure that this is fine. Hold on, y'all. I got to make sure that my shit is fine. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me make sure everything is what it's supposed to be. Give me a second. Give me a second. Nobody timed her out, right? All right, cool. All right, cool. We good. All right, so let's continue.
so hard.
Because I want to get through the rest of this video. All right. I want to get through the rest of this video. Yeah, let me give you a wrench just to make sure. That is a good idea. I'm glad y'all said that. Hold on one second. Just so I can make sure it's the real person. Let me give you a wrench. Give me a second. Let me work. All right, that is you. All right, we good. Let's get into this show because I want to get through this video, y'all. I really, really, really want to get to this video. And then I'm going to let y'all come up and say whatever y'all want to say.
Americans work.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
They're very hard workers.
Yes.
I like how they work. My white Americans really work hard. You see that?
They inspire us to work harder.
No. Do you know what? They don't even inspire. They're working hard for themselves, bro.
Oh, okay.
You know, they're putting in a lot of work, yeah? They put in a lot of work. My white
Yes.
white Americans
You guys should
work hard.
Work hard.
Yeah, you can.
So Pearl has taken people on from Africa, which on the surface looks like a good thing. And I guess it is. Africans are being fed. They're taking money from her. They are feeding their family. Amazing. However.
So he's saying that she's putting money in their pocket. Let's continue.
With a colonial mindset, this can be quite dangerous. And what happened during that interview with Nick Fuentes was that she used an age-old tactic that colonizers use, which was the divide and rule tactic. She pitted African Americans versus Africans when she spoke about how hard Africans work compared to how hard African Americans work. And she also used the term, my Africans. Much of what Pearl says is determined by her management, which she has said to me on many occasions that she shares with Candace Owens.
Ooh. So let me tell you what's happening right here, right? And this is one of the reasons why y'all have to be careful who y'all surround yourself with. Okay? I heard nothing in that interview that would lead me to believe that she's pitting Africans against African Americans. Nothing. Not one. I'm going to be honest with you. I know Pearl is ambitious. I know she worked hard. I know that she has the same manager that managed Candace Owens, which also triggers things. But it's very, very, very hard for me to believe that Pearl is smart enough to pick and choose a spot in which she can try to pit Africans against African Americans, especially if y'all saying that this is what she's using in order to continue to generate revenue for her channel. So I hire them, I put money in their pocket, and then you want to get me to try to strategically pit Africans against African Americans, when Americans are the ones that actually watch my content probably the most. Okay, let's continue.
So when you have a colonial mindset and you have a management who tell you what to say, what generally happens in my personal point of view and what I actually saw was that she began to start paying people pittance. She began to start offering contracts to people that owned them, just like a colonial master would. Case in point. Myself and Pearl sat down to have a conversation about me signing to her contractually.
Ooh, this is about to get good. This is about to get good. Now we get into the money. Now we get into the, this is my specialty right here. Now we get into the money. I like this part. All right, let's continue.
And I want to make this very clear. I have never signed to the Just Pearly Things network. I have always been an independent. Pearl has known that, and I have known that.
Mm-hmm.
And so anytime I worked with Pearl, we had agreed a fee, and I worked for that fee.
So, before we even get started with this, he's saying that he stands on all of this blackety black, but he backed her for a fee. He stands on the blackety black, but he backed her for money. Is that what I heard? Is that what I heard? She paid him for his services, and he absolved himself of his black heritage and his blackety black and his colonial mindset in order to get that bag. Is that what I'm hearing? I just want to make sure I heard what I heard before y'all, because it's amazing to me how you still take the money, but then you switch up when it's convenient for you. Because she wasn't racist when you was taking the money from her. She was only racist after the money is over. Right? No? You was willing to work with her as long as you was getting your numbers up, as long as you can go on the channel, as long as you was making money. Because now I see you speak with forked tongue. Don't sit here and tell me that you want to work with people for a fee, but then you still on the black side, but then for a fee, allegedly, you're allowing for her to colonialize all of these people, and you are attempting to educate her out of her colonialism because she don't know any better, but then she knew enough to be able to pit Africans and African Americans against each other. What am I hearing? What am I hearing? Okay, let's continue.
Never been signed to the Just Pearly Things contracts. However, she has signed a few Africans, namely King Riches and Auntie Jenny. Now, I have no problem with a King Riches or an Auntie Jenny. However, if we look at the contracts that they signed, you would understand the reason why I use the term colonization and colonial. Now, myself and Pearl sat down to have a conversation, and she expressed to me that she wanted to do a new segment for her show.
Make sure y'all get a like up for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on y'all notifications. The likes is incredibly low. The likes are, or dislikes. You can hit a like, you can hit a dislike, you can say whatever the hell you want to say. And I'm going to drop the link. Listen, okay, so this is what we'll do. I'm not dropping a link for y'all to be able to come up here and say anything and give y'all opinion until we get the likes up. I'm not dropping a link for anybody to come up here and say anything until y'all get the likes up. Or dislikes, however you want to do it. It's up to you. So we could just go over to the next subject, or y'all can make sure that y'all hit a like or the dislike for the algorithm. It's up to y'all. All right, let's continue.
In that segment, she said that she would like me to present a topical news show on a day-to-day basis. So I said, okay, no problem. Talk to me. What are we talking about? And she said she would want me within her studio 4 days per week. I said, okay, from what time? She said from 10 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening. And I said, okay, well, that is 7 hours. I said, so working 4 to 5 days a week for 7 hours is essentially a day job.
Let me rewind it real quick. I
want
to make sure I missed
basis. So I said, okay, no problem. Talk to me. What are we?
I want to make sure that I got all of the conversation, all of the insight, all of the information. So I rewinded it 30 seconds, and he's in negotiation with his colonizer. He's in negotiation with his colonizer. All right. So I want to hear this.
Talking about. And she said she would want me within her studio 4 days per week. I said, okay, from what time?
4 days a week.
She said from 10 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening.
10 in the morning to 5 o'clock. That's 7 hours, 7 times 4, 7, 14, 21, 28. So that's 28 hours a week. She wants you in the studio Monday through Friday, 28 hours a week. If my mental math serves me correctly, I got to count on my fingers like the slow kids. I'm a C student. 7, 14, 21, 28. Cool.
And I said, okay, well, that is 7 hours. I said, so working 4 to 5 days a week for 7 hours is essentially a day job. I said to her, okay, so what is my guaranteed fee at the end of the month? What is the salary? And she looked.
What is my guaranteed fee at the end of the month? Okay, so this is the beautiful part about this live stream, right? Because I'm hoping that he goes in a lot of detail about what it is that he's offered, even though I think that it's crazy to go talk about numbers and contracts publicly, because I don't even talk about contracts outside of my bag chasers. I showed him my W-2s. I've shown what it is that I make. But I'm assuming that she put a gun to his head for whatever it is, and I'm going to right here, right now, break down exactly what the YouTube game is, and we going to rock it out, all right? So he's saying, what is this guaranteed fee? And I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it at all. Pearl, don't time nobody out, please, if you saying that you got timed out.
At me, and she says, we do not do guarantees and we do not do salaries. Mm-hmm. So I said, so if you don't do guarantees and you don't do salaries, what is it that you actually do? And she said she does percentages. So I said, okay, cool. Well, what's the percentage? She said, Sarah, you're the high end, so you will get 70-30. So I said, fine, okay, let me listen. 70% goes to me and 30% goes to you. Now she looked at me and she said, no, 70% goes to me, Pearl, and 30% goes to me, Sarah Garvey. And that's when I started scratching my head. And I said, hang on a minute. So are you telling me that's a high-end contract for you? And she said, yes. And I said, so are you saying that Just Pearly Things Network has other people on low-end contracts? She said, yes. I said, King Rich's and Auntie Jenny? She said, yes. I said, what's the low end? She said, it's 10 to 15%.
So what he's saying is that she offered him a contract. 70% goes to her, 30% goes to him. And that's a high-end contract. I want to make sure that we're breaking this down for the people, right? We're going to go all the way in. And then 10 to 15% for the low-end contracts. That's what he's saying, okay? This is what he's saying.
So essentially, she could be owning 80% of the content, which is basically the monetized views on somebody's channel, and they only take home 15% of the money.
Now, this is the beautiful part about this. This is the part that I like about this, right? I like this part of the conversation. Now it's not based off of feeling. Now it's not based off of whatever it is that you think. Now it's based off of real numbers. And this is what my specialty is. Now, let me give you a little bit of insight, right? Because I know the YouTube game. I know it like the back of my hand. I have a lot of different people that work for me on YouTube. And a lot of people don't understand the business of it because people think that they know what money looks like, right? A, you need to be able to negotiate for whatever it is that you want, right? You need to be able to negotiate for whatever it is that you want. You can't hold somebody else accountable for what it is that you decide to do or go into. That's A. B, a lot of these YouTubers don't even make no money. A lot of YouTubers don't even make money. I showed a video because you can go on YouTube and you can actually look up every single last one of these YouTubers, and you can see what it is that they make despite or how many subscribers that they have. Now, I broke down exactly how it is that you make money inside of the Patreon when it comes to content creation, but that's a completely different conversation, right? Hear me out for those of you that think that YouTube is a joke. Most YouTubers are broke. Shelby Church has 1.7 million subscribers, and she broke down how much she made last year. Shelby Church made $150,000 last year. White girl, loved by the people, made $150,000 per year. Don't go by Social Blade. Don't go by Google. I'm telling you that is wrong. $150,000 per year last year. And she got 1.7 million subscribers. Okay? Another thing that you guys are not taking into consideration, because I know this for a fact, some of Pearl's most popular videos didn't even get monetized because YouTube penalizes when certain people's names are in the title or when they're in certain videos. For example, the Andrew Tate video. How do I know this? Because I've talked to her and she was trying to figure out how to cover the costs that were associated with booking and getting different people like Brittany Renner and Andrew Tate back over into the platform. And so when you see certain things happening on these platforms, I'm telling you that just because it has a lot of views does not mean that it makes a lot of money. Now, on top of that, before I even deep dive into his contract, on top of that, most of the people that work for me, whether they're on a panel or whether they have any of these shows or whatever, they're loss leaders. I had somebody that actually came up on my platform before and they said, but Anton, with this video, and then I actually pulled it up on a live stream and I showed them that they made $150, but I gave them $500. Now, they'll look at us and they'll say, well, you get a lot of views or you get some super chats or you get this and that and so on and so forth. But they don't really understand how we make money when it comes to YouTube. The majority of YouTubers make the majority of their money off sponsorships, not off of actual AdSense revenues. For example, it's a lot of people that got a lot of shorts. I'm going to break that down, Brian Anthony. I got you. I'm going to get there. Let me cook. It's a lot of people that get a lot of views from shorts. Shorts don't pay money. So why do YouTubers still get into the shorts game? Because it is a way in which people can bring more visibility over to their platform, and then hopefully the people that watch the shorts then start watching the long form content such as the videos and the clips that you drop. Why do you think that most YouTubers then create a clips channel? This is a fact. This is a fact. Now, one thing that other people still don't take into consideration is the costs that's associated with you still putting on a platform. What are the costs that are associated with still putting on a platform? Well, you still have to pay the editors. You still have to pay the producers. The manager still gets a cut of whatever it is that you do, right? You still got to get the rent. You got to buy the cameras. You continuing to upgrade equipment. You still putting on a great show. Right? You got people that's toggling through different things on a regular basis. I just watched a channel from a guy. His name is, let me pull it up. His name is, and you can look this up, literally. I was watching this yesterday, and it's so ironic that this came up. His name is Bedros Quillen. He's a magician. He's a guy that solves puzzles. He has 7 million plus subscribers. No. I'm sorry. That's not him. I'm talking about not him. That's a different guy. He's a magic guy. He's a magic guy that got like 7 million subscribers. And he literally was on the platform. He just dropped a video yesterday. And he said how he's basically losing money every single day because his platform is not generating revenue. I'm giving you the YouTube game. I'm trying to help you to understand how money works. What I'm telling you is that the overwhelming majority of the shows that I put on, I'm losing money for because I still pay people, and what it is that I pay people is completely different because I'm not, I don't tell all my people is happy, right? But what I pay people is not based off of the same thing that other people pay people off of, but the way that you make money on YouTube is much different than what people think it is. If you think I'm lying, then the only thing you have to do is, since Sarah Garvey is being so transparent, ask him to show how much he made. Ask him to show his back end. Ask him to pull up how much he made for the last 28 days on YouTube, because I can literally go to his channel and tell, based off of the views and the amount of videos that he dropped, I can tell exactly about how much money that he's making. You don't have to take the cost. Now, the one thing that I would educate Pearl on, and this is what she doesn't know, which is one of the reasons why I'm having conversations with her and I'm helping her to understand how to look at things more from a business perspective. The one thing that people don't take into consideration is, do I recoup first before you get your costs? And this is why you guys need to start understanding how to negotiate more effectively, right? If you eat what you kill, then you get a bigger percentage. If you're not using my equipment, if you're not using my marketing, if I'm not actually getting your subscribers up, if I'm not actually generating more revenue for you, if you're not making more money on your own than you are making with me, then hit me with a different contract. Hit me with a renegotiation. Help me to understand how it is that you can do things more effectively, because you don't need my studio. You don't need my editors. You don't need the marketing. You don't need the platform. I know for a fact that there's people with why do you think that Joe Budden started moving differently when it came to the people that was on his platform? Why do you think that people do things based off of percentages? Because it allows for you not to be in the red when it comes for your financial gain, right? If I'm in the red every single month, but I'm paying you, think about this. Let's say, for example, that you make $10,000 last month, or the content that we kill make $10,000 last month, right? Let's say, for example, that that's true, which I don't think that that's true for most YouTubers. But let's say, for example, that it makes $10,000, right? And everybody know that I ain't capping, because I show my back end on my Patreon every single day, right? Let's say, for example, you make $10,000 that month, which, looking at Sarah Garvey's numbers, and it don't matter how many subscribers that you have. Most YouTubers are broke. They got a bunch of subscribers and they're not making no fucking money. Don't go by the views, because they're inflated based off of shorts and all of this other type of stuff. These YouTubers are not making money. Built with Smith says, let me use this for example. This is perfect. Hold on one second. Let me use him. He says, my channel saw 98,000 views in March, and that yielded $179, just for some real numbers to consider. His channel yielded 98,000 views in March, and that yielded $179, just for some real numbers to consider. That means 100,000 views don't even get you $200. 100,000 views don't even get you $200. But I still got to pay the rent. I still got to pay the electricity. I still got to, she just told you. She just told you. Now, you generating $2,000 a month. She giving you the real numbers since y'all really want to know. I'm going to drop the link in the description. She said generated $2,000 a month. Now, I still got to pay my editors, still got to pay my producers, managers still get their cut, still got to pay for the rent, still got to pay for all of this other stuff that's happening outside of it, so on and so forth. Most of y'all shows is lost leaders. But the reason why a lot of times they say, listen, I'll give you 70-30 is because I'm still putting money in your pocket, even though I'm still covering all of the costs. Now, true 360 deals, for those of you that don't know, means that you'll get a percentage of the revenue after we recoup whatever it costs for us to really make it. And see, Pearl really not charging y'all what she's supposed to be charging y'all. Because what she's supposed to be charging y'all is we don't have a split until you recoup. That means that all of the costs, the associated costs, I can't believe I got to have a whole education series on y'all with regard to this. When you sell a burger, when you open up a restaurant, the profit is not made based off of the cost of the burger and then the cost and then whatever it is that you sell it for. You got to pay for the bread. You got to pay for the condiments. You got to pay for the workers that make it. You got to pay for the rent, air conditioning, insurance. You got to pay for unemployment insurance. You got to take care of all of the other costs associated with picking it up, delivery, loss, everything associated with it. So the true cost of the burger is not what you buy the meat for and then sell it for. It's the oil that you have to continue to rotate out every single time that you change in order to make sure that everything is fresh. It's all of the marketing that goes into it, right? When you sign up for Yelp, when somebody clicks on your ad, when you run in Facebook logins, all of those costs are supposed to be divided into whatever it is that each burger sells. And so what I'm telling you is that most YouTubers don't make any money, and that's why you don't see motherfuckers with whole production studios. You don't see people reinvesting back into the business. Because if we actually showed you the back end of what it is that you're making, then you wouldn't get anything. You wouldn't get anything. So we need the cost to cover what it's going to take to blow you up. Most of the time when people give you these contracts, they're taking into consideration the cost to promote you, to get you rolling, and then they give you a year, 2 years, 3-year contract because I'm going to have to put a whole bunch of money into you in order to get you rolling before I start to make my money back, but I still got to pay you 30% of the revenue. Me paying you 30% of the revenue does not also take into consideration all of my costs of putting together your show and getting you popping, and you using my name to make yourself bigger. So if you get 100,000 views, but you making $200, what do you think you're supposed to do? So you make, let's see, 30% of the revenue of $2,000 is the equivalent of $600. So you making 600, you making 300 from every 1,000, right? That means there's 700 left for me, but I also got to make sure that I take into consideration all of the other costs that go along with it that you not incurring. My time costs money. I'm not taking that into consideration. I'm not charging you for that. All of the different people that run all of this shit behind here, that costs money. You not getting your cut out of that. If we all just taking a cut out of it, and then you getting what's left over, then I'm with that. Listen, we can do 50-50, we can do 60-40, we can do 70-30 in your favor. If you also taking a haircut as a result of it, no. But you know what most people want? They want a guaranteed salary, regardless of whether or not the business is doing well or not. You pay me. Just like the mob. Everything fucked up, fuck you, pay me. Views ain't coming in, everything getting demonetized, fuck you, pay me. Because let me tell you what happens. When that contract is signed by both people, he still get a guaranteed cut regardless of whatever happens to that platform. If the platform get demonetized, she still got to pay him. Insurance still got to pay him. Editors still got to pay them. Lease on this place that we got popping off, still got to pay them. So I'm not telling them that he wrong for turning down the contract. I'm telling y'all that y'all don't truly understand the cost that goes into putting a lot of these people on. Why you think that people are trying to be platform agnostic and then get the majority of the money off of all of these other platforms and doing it at the same time? Honestly, if it was me, if I'm her, because I'm going to tell you, a majority of what it is that I generate, most of the money that I pay to the other people, I overpay them. I don't even make money from the majority of the people that work with me. I just buzz down the bag just because I'm a nice person, because I'm already running up the check in so many other ways. I'm just literally just giving away money for free most of the time. I'm cutting checks all day long, and people is probably making more money off of using my platform in order to get their name hot. Listen, let's have a paperwork party. If you think I'm capping, because my Patreon members know exactly what my numbers look like. They know how I make money. They know how I get it. They know how I split it up. They know where all of my revenue come from. They know exactly what it is. If y'all feeling a certain type of way about it, get your favorite YouTuber, all of your black YouTubers, and tell them let's have a paperwork party, and then we can go on StreamYard, and we can pull up the back end of the numbers. Patriarchy would tell you I overpaid that motherfucker. I overpaid him. He right there. Tell your favorite YouTuber, tell whoever it is, let's have a paperwork party. Let's pull up our back ends. Let's show what we make. and then show what it is it takes in order for you to produce that content. Let's have a paperwork party. You know me, I love showing my business. I love showing my numbers. Tell them let's have a paperwork party. Let's have a paperwork party. Ask Sarah Garvey to come up here and let's do a paperwork party of how much his channel generates. Because I want to show y'all that just because people say something doesn't mean that's what it is. Just because people got a lot of subscribers don't mean. Y'all don't kick nobody out. B. Taylor, you good. Chill it. Chill out. Let's have a paperwork party. Let's show exactly how much everybody is making. And that way we don't have to have any kind of misunderstandings as to what the amount of money that's being generated on a regular basis. They say, Anton, you overpay. You great at business. No, I overpay because I'm nice. If I was really doing what it is that was supposed to be done from a business perspective, if I took into consideration all of the costs and then I deducted that from whatever it is that I pay people, it would get real ugly. It would get real ugly. Don't mess anybody up, y'all. Don't remove anybody or none of that. I think we should have a paperwork party. I think we should have a paperwork party. Tell your favorite content, ask your favorite content creator why they still got regular jobs if they're making so much fucking money on YouTube. No blocking, y'all. Ask your favorite content creator why they still have regular jobs if they're making so much money on YouTube. Ask your favorite content creator why they don't have an office, why they don't have a studio, why they don't have editors, why they don't do any of that. And why and if they do, why don't they pay their editors or their content creators a livable wage? Why they don't pay them a livable wage? Why they not paying them $20, $25, $30 an hour? I'm going to drop the link in the chat for y'all to be able to come up. I'm curious as to what y'all got to say. In the meantime, I need to catch up on some of these super chats. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. I got 4 spots available. If you don't have anything valuable to add into this conversation, do not jump up here. Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all another question too while we waiting. If it's so easy for y'all to do, then how come y'all not doing it? Let me pin that to the top of the chat. If it's so easy for y'all to do, then how come y'all not doing it? Answer me this question. How come your favorite YouTuber ain't putting y'all on? In my opinion, I think that Pearl should just fucking go at it alone, and she should just go solo and run up the check. That way she ain't got to cover no additional costs for everybody else, and she ain't got to worry about all of this shit. How come none of y'all favorite YouTubers are actually putting anybody on? How come they not hiring nobody? How come they not hiring nobody? Ain't nobody making no money. Most of these people are not making money. Most of these people is not making money. I'm going to bring y'all up on the channel. Let me read some of these super chats. Let me wait until the back get... No, it's a lot of people that said that they had a lot of things to say. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Y'all more than welcome to be able to jump up on the panel. I got to catch up on the super chats first. Hold on. Even when I bring y'all in for interviews, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I be bringing y'all in for interviews and shit. I'm doing that just off the love. I'm doing it just for promotion. I'm doing it just off of making sure that we can hopefully create more visibility and then hopefully the money come on the back end. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all. I fly y'all in. I bring y'all in first class. I fly y'all in first class. Okay? After I fly y'all in first class, then I put you in the best hotel. By the time that I get y'all out of here, I don't make y'all pay for y'all food. I don't make y'all do nothing. By the time that I get a lot of y'all out of here, honestly, I'm in the red. Even after I drop y'all videos, and y'all videos don't even make me no money. Y'all videos don't make me no money. I'm in the red by the time that I bring y'all up here. And then y'all want to start talking about compensation.